Hello, my name is Dark Wolfheart, and on today's video we're going to be looking at my PlayStation collection. As you can see, there's not much to go through, so this is going to be a pretty quick video. But before we do have a look at my PlayStation collection, just hide those ones around there. We're going to be looking at a couple of Dreamcast games that I've got from back in the day. I did have more, but I had to sell them due to being broken and all that. And you know what it's like, the fun of growing up and all that. So the first one is Sonic Adventure. If you don't know this game, you're missing out. This is one of the better 3D Sonic games, and Sonic Adventure 2 is really good. And I do have these again on the GameCube. So that's that. The next one is Dragon Riders. You most probably haven't heard of this one. This is quite a rare game to get hold of. But it's based on a set of books called The Chronicles of Pern, which I do have and I have read. They're good. This game, on the other hand, it just wasn't that good, actually. It didn't get good reviews. I think it got around about 55% or something like that. So we will start in the PlayStation collection now. First one up, The Lion King. I picked this up quite cheap. Simba's Mighty Adventure. As Disney games go, this one isn't good. It's kind of, the controls are sort of don't work. The graphics, well, it's a PlayStation game. The graphics were fine, I suppose, a little bit bare bones, but yeah. So next one, Digimon World. Back in the day, I was a big Digimon fan, and this came out to battle Pokemon. So the idea of the game, you got sucked into a world and you went around with a Digimon and you had to feed it and it would crap all over the place as well. Graphics were fine, gameplay was fine, yeah. It was a good game back in the day. I think there have been a few sequels now to this. But I don't follow Digimon anymore. I still watch the anime, because I still quite like it. Another big anime, Dragon Ball Z. Oh, this is Dragon Ball Final Bout. Basically one of many games which came out, which is beat 'em up. Around about. There we are. We can see a couple of characters there. Sal, I think that is, and Goku fighting the talent tree, or the leaderboard, and all that. Yeah, it was fine. It was another Dragon Ball game. There's a ton of penny. Next is sort of Digimon Rumble Arena. This was Digimon's answer to Super Smash Bros. Like PlayStation All-Star, and oh, what's that new one by Warner Bros. Which has just been released? I can't remember it off the top of my head, but this was quite a fun game. If I remember right, you could digivolve throughout the battle if you collected enough bits and pieces. So yeah, it's Smash Bros. With Digimon. More Digimon, digital card battles. So they went after Yu-Gi-Oh! As well. And yeah, Digimon, you play with cards and all that. Next up, Chase the Express. Now, this game is obviously set on a train, as you can see there, but it's done in the Resident Evil style control, so it's sort of like a third person, and I can't remember. Right, touch on the back what you have to do. I think it was alright from what I remember. It's been 25 years since I last played it or something like that, so I thought it was an alright game. A classic from back in the day, Matt Hoffman's Pro BMX. Yeah, so you know Tony Hawk's, it's exactly the same, but it's you're on a BMX this time. Very fun game. I enjoy these quite a lot, and there is a second one to this. Do I have it? I think I've got it. I've got it somewhere. I think it's on the GameCube, but I'll look at that another day. Very good game. I remember playing this at a sort of BMX show back in Birmingham back in the day, and there was a challenge that you had to hit the highest score and you got a t-shirt, and I did get the t-shirt. I got very sick though because it took me so long to do it to get the high score. It was very difficult. but it was a lot of fun. Next is definitely a classic from Resident Evil, Dino Crisis. It's a little bit dusty, I see. Yeah. This is what you get when you store games. Dino Crisis, it's Resident Evil with dinosaurs. What more could you ask for? Please, Capcom, I'm going to say it again, make a remake of this. I don't want no more Resident Evil remakes. The Code Veronica would be nice, just give me a Dino Crisis. So, if you like Resident Evil and you like dinosaurs, Dino Crisis. And speaking, we have a sequel to it, Dino Crisis 2. Now, this game was a lot less like Dino Crisis in the fact that it was a more arcade shooter and you just went around just blasting the dinosaurs away. It was still a fun game, but it was very different from how the first game went. And there is a third game in this, Dino Crisis 3, which was on the Xbox. I never played it, but it's set on a space station. So the story went pretty crazy after this. Next up is a classic, Tomb Raider 2. Well, when I say classic, pretty much most PlayStation games are classic. But this is Tomb Raider 2. Everybody knows who Tomb Raider is. Would I say this is the best Tomb Raider on the PlayStation? Number 3 was good. I did play that. And I did play Revelations as well. Well, pretty much all Tomb Raider games were good back then. So, next, Hot Wheels. As you can see, I just picked this up cheap. I don't know why I bought this game. But yeah, it's Hot Wheels. You race around with cars. It's fine, I suppose. So another big anime back in the day was Beyblade. Let It Rip and all that. So yeah. So all you do is you get your Beyblade and you let it rip. I know. Exciting days they were. Oh, and there's a PC game in here. Wallace and Gromit Cracking Animator. So if you don't know who Wallace and Gromit are, they're animations from England. Very good. I do like them. So the last few games we've got here. So we're going to look at a horror game. Silent Hill. Yes, the classic. This came out after Resident Evil, but it's one of the most... it's one of the best horror games it is. It comes behind Resident Evil in my opinion. But if you want to be creeped out, definitely play Silent Hill. Speaking of Resident Evil, and we have Resident Evil 3 Nemesis here. Yeah, so if you know Resident Evil, it's a sequel to Resident Evil 2, obviously. Where you played as Jill Valentine and you went around Raccoon City trying to escape. Very fun game. So the last 4 games are all part of the Final Fantasies. So this is a Final Fantasy anthology series. So this game has Final Fantasy 4 and Final Fantasy 5 in it. As you can see, picked up from CEX, so I haven't taken that off yet. I should take it off. Come on. Oh, it's going to tear and leave a gash, isn't it? Oh, come on, that's it. There we are, that's looking a little bit better, isn't it? So yeah, this is just the release of 4 and 5 on the PlayStation, basically. Another sticker on the back, stuff it. So yeah, this was just had new CG cinematic sequences added to it, as you can read here, on here. But yeah, they're fun games. I enjoy them very much. And the last 3, if you haven't guessed, is Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 8, and of course Final Fantasy 9. If you haven't heard of these games, you are definitely missing out. They are some of the best Final Fantasy games. I mean, most Final Fantasy games are good. You can't really go wrong. But I would say if you haven't played any of these, I would recommend playing 9. I think it was the best one on the PlayStation. You might disagree with me, I'm thinking 7, but you can still play 7. You can pick all these up now on the PlayStation stores or Xbox stores and all that. But I think Final Fantasy VIII was the weakest of the lot, although it had a really good card game in it. But yeah, that was a very quick look at my PlayStation games. So if you made it to the end of the video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you again.